Welcome to Balls and Brews, Pod 35. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
That's easy drink and
Oh, it's delicious. What are we drinking, Chuck?
Well, previously on this pod, we had this exact,
Brother.
two ciders, two town cider house. Sorry,
Brothers,
this
as
big-
in like...
Well, yeah, it's the same. Yeah, so we had the tropical, which was a passion fruit cider,
Yep.
and this one is the blueberry cider. So once again, drinks at 8%.
Can't really see the can quite well on
But the pour is
video.
beautiful. It matches exactly what you think a blueberry cider is going to look like and also taste like. I'd say it's a little bit more muted than the tropical one was. That was packed a lot more of a bright punch to me.
I think this is like right up my alley of what I want from a cider. You get that blueberry taste, but it's not overly sweet, and you don't get that like pop at the end.
That's what I'm looking for, to be
Right.
fair, I guess.
Yeah, I kinda-
you like the pucker?
I
don't
do.
necessarily love the pucker. I do love the can. I think the other can you can see better. This can you can't quite see as well, but it's still a really cool can.
It looks like a space cowboy rocking out.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. So, yeah, it's true. He's got the frills.
He's
on
got
the
the
jacket.
frills
What is
on
that?
the
What is that
jacket.
shit called?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Check it out it'll be up on X and Instagram. Once again, two town cider house out of Corvallis.
Yeah,
So
it's-
Oregon. So northwest to the core. You know, that's one of their slogans that they have. So
Trev, what do
or
you
that
think?
might be Avid.
What do you think of it, Trev? I think it's Avid. Trev, what do you think of it since you're
There
like
you go.
probably
Correction.
one of the? I guess you don't like ciders as much as me and Chuck. I guess I like ciders and Moe's, and then Chuck, and then you. What do you think of it as a?
I mean, like I said, it's an easy drinker. It doesn't have as much pucker as the last one did. Sometimes I like that. Sometimes I don't.
Fair.
It
That's
just
fair.
kind of goes with whatever flavor. I feel like it works better with certain
You're
flavors.
trying to obtain whatever your brain wants. Yeah, I get you.
Did you tell them the percentage that we're drinking this?
8%. It's enough. Yeah, they don't do it small apparently.
Tasty, dude. It's tasty. 8%, boys.
But isn't it funny though? Sometimes, okay, like I do want to. This is a sidebar within the conversation we were just having. Isn't it funny when you go into having an expectation of what the beer's supposed to taste like, and it doesn't taste like what you want it to or what you think it's going to, and it kind of influences your opinion on it?
Well,
Do you guys have that?
I try not to ever have an expectation.
What are you talking? But when you read a label, you're like, "Oh, it's supposed to kind of be like
Yes.
this," and then you drink it, and you're like,
But I don't ever try to hold a high. I don't ever try to hold a high expectation. I try to go into it with like some kind of expectation, but don't try to guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever try to guess because then if I'm wrong,
You and I think about
Yeah.
alcohol very differently. My whole concept is trying to guess.
I would see what I see on the label and go, I can't wait to try it, and then I
I
have an
respect
idea
that.
of what, like,
That's
if it's a peanut
open-minded.
butter, I expect to have a peanut butter flavor, and then depending on the peanut butter-ness is whether I like the stout or I don't like the stout. Same
Ooh,
with
that's
like,
also kind of a little
same with
foreshadow.
ciders and stuff like that. Like I go in with expecting to have some of that flavor of the fruit, but then depending on how much the flavor is or not, will then depend on how much I like that beer or cider as well, I guess.
This is also kind of gives me some thoughts of like a sangria. It's just that.
Sure.
I mean, it's a different flavor, blueberry opposed to your wine. But similar is like I could see throwing some fruit in there.
Fermented fruit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives off the same sugar, the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
By the time we're done with this conversation, I'm gonna be.
I know this
gonna be-
motherfucker's already half.
I'm going to be opening the. We have the
Dude,
original
we got
and the
it.
tropical. We might end up. Me and Trev might end up like. Chuck might have to do a little single stuff while me and Trev are popping new brewskis, but
Is that how that goes?
Popping bottles.
Pop-
pop bottles. All right, let's jump into some fucking huge news, college
Why
football
is it
wise.
always YouTube versus me? Is that the dynamic of this pod? If we just worked our way into that, should we just lean into that?
Well, it kind of ends up. Me and Trev kind of end up seeing more eye to eye on a lot more stuff than we've actually kind of seemed to figure out.
Well, I mean, we were the California teams.
But yeah, let's jump into college football. Huge shit going on.
Dude, this is the
So
biggest
today-
headline, not only in college football, but probably in all sports right
this
now.
moment, I think it's pretty big.
Yep.
As they're also playing a game as
Correct. So right now,
recording
let's have some correlation of what's going on. Right now, this is we're doing this at 9:30 on Saturday of day of Michigan Penn State. We're watching it right here in front of us. This news came out yesterday, Friday afternoon, while Michigan's on the plane let's get that in mind, on a holiday. Let's also keep that in mind.
How the hell are you going to get
Veterans Day.
fired on your day off?
So they're flying, and then they get the news that Harbaugh's got a 3-game suspension, but from the sidelines. He can coach during the week. So that is basically the headlines, right? Then Michigan files an injunction to try to push so he doesn't get suspended, but since it's a holiday, there's only a certain amount of judges on call, but they're on call for shit like TPOs, like real type of fucking like emergency type shit, not
They're
college
judges,
football
dude.
coaches suspensions.
Yeah,
They didn't. Right.
this was
They didn't.
100% planned too.
The NCAA doesn't do anything without some sort of,
And I think
planning
that this
behind
is, we bag on the NCAA
Except
a lot. We bagged on the NCAA, I think, last pod because we ripped on Michigan about last pod, but then we ripped on the NCAA about not having
it. We
earpieces.
rip on the NCAA. I rip on them whenever I really can.
But this
because
isn't the
they're
NCAA.
terrible.
Yeah.
The NCAA didn't make the suspension, so we can rip on them again. This is the Big Ten making the suspension. The NCAA,
Which it should be governed by the NCAA. That's
But
where
it's
they
not.
get it wrong. I know.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. The self-governed it's got to go away. You got to get a uniformed body of governing. It's got to be the same across all conferences. Like you can't just say it's not. Okay, you have local like police department, but you also have your fucking federal. Like you have to have the overlord to get it right. I think.
right. So when we drop at the end of the college football season our Zach's news conferences, that will have a whole governing body over those top schools, is what it would technically end up showing.
Hashtag imaginary.
Because it's never going to
It's
happen.
never your imagination. We're just gonna keep with the South Park
It's gonna
theme
be
today.
sick though. So what do you guys?
He's sick though.
What is your guys' feelings on? Let's start with Chuck. What's your feelings on the suspension? Do you like it? Do you agree
No,
with it?
it's too soon. They don't have everything. It's not being litigated properly. Is especially what I'm hearing on like both sides. It sets a precedent of them dropping judgment without the case being closed. Super dangerous. We all know the way it's leaning, but nothing has actually come down. Like is sidebar on this because this is just what this pod is good for. Is Harbaugh just going to skip and go to the NFL?
Well, there's a problem with that because since he only got the 3-game suspension, he might be able to. The Goodell came out and said that if he got like a year suspension, 6-game suspension, that same
would lean
game
over into the
suspension would
NFL,
go
right?
over in the NFL.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually leaning that way. I
So
think
I don't-
Harbaugh could be moving.
But with the 3-game suspension and it not coming from the NCAA, just coming from the Big Ten, I think could lead into But the Michigan right now, hold on. Michigan right now has stood behind him at 100%.
Right. They have to.
Well, because right now the evidence is weird, right? Let's go back to the evidence. We talked about it last week. Let's go back to the evidence. So we know that there's pictures of Connor Stallions in like other
on the sidelines.
But no,
I heard
okay.
a report that he made it down to the sidelines.
Well, there's
in
pictures.
some
There's
days.
pictures of him standing next to Harbaugh
How
and
fucking
talking
crazy
to Harbaugh.
is that?
Well, there's pictures of him on the sidelines talking to Harbaugh, but there's other pictures that he.
No,
they
I
know
mean
he
at
bet.
the other, like on another team's like.
Yeah, that was
sideline.
that they're looking into that.
That was you went to a Central Michigan
Yeah.
versus Michigan State game and was able to get onto the sidelines.
They're still looking into it. They don't 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So how are you going to levy punishment?
I
against
think
Harbaugh?
that the punishment comes because of the ticket buys, that they know that he was at other games and that he was actually on the sidelines talking with Harbaugh during Michigan games and defensive and offensive coordinators. So I think that the Big Ten, and I think that there's been all these meetings as of the last so many weeks in the Big Ten that Harbaugh, like the coaches meeting, then Harbaugh had to leave the coaches meeting so they could have a meeting about Harbaugh. And that's happened because they have weekly meetings or whatever, or weekly things that's been going on for a while now. So I think that all the Big Ten, between presidents and coaches, have put so much displeasure with what this scandal is going. And then there's other reports that now that like Michigan's trying to say that other teams had their scouting reports and were passing it along. I don't know if you guys heard that too, right?
Yeah, I heard that too. But yeah, I mean, you're not gonna clear your conscience by throwing other or schools under the bus. And I don't know if it was the same kind of recording. A lot of that stuff is okay. Coaches talking to coaches, it's allowed. It happens. This seems like the Big Ten's kind of taking a page from the NCAA, though, and like rushing to make a judgment that they don't need to do.
Well, I think they're taking an opposite page instead of making a judgment because the NCAA takes so long to make these judgments. I think the Big Ten's trying to do the opposite and get on it before like it gets worse. I think the Big Ten's trying to that's what I think. I think the Big Ten's going the opposite of the NCAA. The NCAA always seems to want to be very hesitant with their decisions, and then they make bad ones. I think the Big Ten's jumping.
My correlation there was just without having all the information, they're making a decision on this. And I mean, he looks guilty, but I also think that part of it is Harbaugh being Harbaugh, other teams, schools not liking him. Of course, your competitors are going to do whatever they can to get that advantage. Like, you got that advantage recording plays. They're trying to get the advantage getting you out of there, too. So
I think that the precedent was set when Bettino said that he didn't know anything about the hookers and everything coming in.
Oh my lord, that's a legendary sound bite. I think that he's referring to how are hookers gonna convince somebody to commit to your school? Oh my god, that's a great fucking call.
I think that as a coach of these college teams and coaches in general, when you're that big of a coach, you have you know everything that goes on in your program. Don't bullshit me and tell me that you don't know. When you're that kind of dude, when you're like that high up in these high basketball,
you're a good coach.
Correct. You know everything when you're that high up football, when you're that high up in basketball, like Bill Self and the Arizona stuff that happened and all the Adidas shit with Rick Pitino saying about the hookers, it's all the same thing. Yeah, and I think it goes to this thing in Michigan. He knew. He had to have known. You can't tell me that he didn't know when he's on the sidelines giving the fucking offensive and coordinators, and he's having conversations. There's pictures of him having conversations with the guys.
Yeah.
What's he talking about? Oh, how's your wife doing? Did you end up buying her flowers for your anniversary? Did you get some lingerie? Like, what's he talking about? He's not talking about any of that. He's telling the fucking calls.
Yeah, you can't plead negligence here. It's so bad.
So I agree. I agree with it.
That's the fallback of every coach. I don't know. Like, until they can prove it that you did know, it's plausible deniability, right?
Yeah.
Like,
do you think that they also did the suspension of the 3 games now because they're like, well, if we leave him coach during the week and he's not on the sidelines on the weekend, we kind of took action, so we kind of look good, but then yet Michigan still can win these games. But then he can coach in the college playoffs for the Final Four, and he can coach in the national championship game. So now it looks like the Big Ten did like this great stepping stone of getting up front of it, but did they just kind of help minimize it so that he could coach in the bigger games to win the Big Ten a title?
Well, that's what you want. This is good for the Big Ten,
Correct.
Michigan being good. So it's actually kind of a heady play in that aspect.
Are you trying to are you behind the closed doors going, if we spend it now, we kind of look good, so then if they end up winning out.
I think it's really dumb that they did it this way because now they're opening that can of worms for the NCAA to, now since they haven't ruled, they can crush Michigan if they want to. Like,
I don't think
you've only imposed this 3-game ban. We can come over the top. They could. I'm not saying they will, but like this could just be the start of something. Like, we're just saying, like, if there's okay. Here's a question. Do you think that they will levy a heavier penalty coming from the NCAA once everything gets figured out, or do you think that they will just basically say, "Oh, Big Ten, good job for disciplining your school already"?
I think I'll have to look back. I thought there was a report that said the NCAA hadn't made a suspension or anything yet because there wasn't enough evidence on Jim Harbaugh that he knew what was going on.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, and they had a he already was suspended.
He self-suspended himself because he bought the kid a hamburger.
Yeah, now, now they're doing some more suspension from the Big Ten.
He's had a rough year, dude.
all in all, though, I don't really think this hurts the team. I think the team's going to win these next 3 games regardless.
Well, I sure hope so because I've made a fucking hoop and a stink about them beating fucking Ohio State all fucking year. So they better because I think, gosh. Damn it.
Well, I've been wrong about a lot of predictions on this podcast.
I know, but I watched a lot of Ohio State. And
my betting has been pretty good, but like my
Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah,
I
true.
Hey, I said my betting, not our betting.
I've been better as of late, real better.
All right, we love you guys, but
let's jump into. It is Saturday. We were watching the Michigan Penn State game right now. It is 3-0. But let's talk about some of the scores last week. There's a couple big ones we really need to touch on. The first one we're going to touch on. Good job, Chuck. I think we predicted this.
Oh, we're going to run this one. All right,
number
let's go.
5, Washington 52. Number 20 now unranked USC 42. That is a game I want to watch every fucking weekend.
Oh my Lord.
We might get another this today.
Maybe. I think Oregon defense is way better.
honestly, okay. The fourth quarter was great. When there was no deep, there was like 9 touchdowns scored back to back. It was just bop, bop, bop.
I don't care about defense in college games.
Oh
I want to
my
see the
God.
fucking ball being
That's-
chucked all over the yard. I
Chuck
want to see
it.
52-42.
Lame. There's every week. Just okay,
Fuck
because
defense.
see that I don't like that opinion. I really don't.
I mean, I like a good defense, but I find that college, it's really lacking for most schools.
100%.
So you'll have a good player on that defense, but the defense as a whole will usually struggle, and it doesn't bother me because there are some great offenses to watch. So as long as I have one or the other,
Yeah, Chuck, I honestly would rather see 42-35 with some stops, but it was fun to watch 52-42.
I will say that UW came up with a really clutch stop because that's what separated
Yep.
that 10-point at the end because it was
That
It was-
fumble
it was
huge.
hit. The first half of that game was bonkers. It was 35-35 going into half, wasn't it?
I'd have to look. I can't remember.
I want to say it was 35-28. I'm sorry, it was 35-28 UW going into half, and then you guys evened it up coming out of half to 35-35.
That was that morning we did that pod at 7:30, so I've been drinking since 7:30.
Oh, trying to catch the night game? Yeah. I was actually out. I was out at a local bar to go see my sister's friend's band perform, and it was on the big screen. And I'm sure people were looking at me weird because it was stressful. It was back and forth. You guys are fucking scoring. We're fucking scoring. And I'm over in the corner flexing on him when we score. Pops, yeah, I'm with my pops. So
Pops.
exactly. Everybody what are you getting loud for? We just scored, huh?
oh no, I was his dad.
Right, no, I came close. I thought about it, but
So that was a great game. Let's
it
jump.
was. Excellent win, Huskies. Keep winning. We got to keep winning.
We'll talk
We gotta
about
keep
that in a
winning.
minute. We got a little. I want to have a Pac-12 combo.
You want Sidebahhh?
In a little bit. Number 2, Georgia gets another dub, 30-21.
I'm over
Utah
Georgia.
Missouri.
I'm over Georgia.
Missouri, I thought played really well in the game. I want to give Missouri props. Georgia, dude, Brock Bowers coming back this week. Maybe
Game time.
game time decision this week, so he's coming back.
I'm so.
They're
numb to
still,
Georgia
dude. They're
right
good.
now.
It's over.
Yeah.
Number 7, Kansas had a great game with number 23, Kansas State, 33-30. That game was super interesting. I like how hard
Kansas
of
is
it.
number 7.
No. Texas was 7 over Kansas State, which was
Gotcha.
number
There you go.
23.
You said Kansas.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That I was just
Number
where
7,
did I
Texas,
miss that one?
33.
Oh,
Number 23, Kansas State, 30. Great
Ewers.
game. Ewers has come
Coming
back
back.
this week, guys. Very interesting because I think that we forgot about him. I was actually thinking
We
about
did.
this
Well,
the other day.
I did until I heard his name again.
Texas has been an afterthought with his injury, even though they're
And their
winning.
loss.
Yeah.
and their loss.
So
yeah.
that's
To OU, who we'll talk about again. But the Ewers thing is very
Bedlam.
interesting because this week I was thinking, okay, you got Caleb and Drake are going 1-2, and then if you start looking, college football fans, look at these mock drafts / NFL fans. Look at these mock drafts. Don't look at necessarily what the people are saying, what teams are taking. Just look at the college players that they're talking about, 1 through whatever. Start watching these guys. Start getting interested. Because you're thinking there's 2 quarterbacks at least, Caleb and Drake, that are easily in 1 and 2.
You think
Then you
Ewers
have
is the-
all the other guys that are in there. Now you have Penix.
You don't think Caleb's stock has been hurt with the losses this year?
No, because there's nobody else on the team.
Well, that's also true because Ant Richardson fucking went number 4 going 6-6.
Hey, but finally fired the D coordinator.
Yeah.
We'll get into that too.
All right.
So then, if you think about it,
You
got
can
JJ
tease things.
You got JJ McCarthy.
You got J.J. McCarthy.
Who's finally it's up in the 3s. You got Penix is up there. You got Bo Nix, right? So that's the 5. Then we forget about Ewers. So then Ewers could be in there. Then you got Jaden Daniels. Then you got the kid from Duke. Then you got
Riley
the
Leonard.
kid from Florida State, Jordan Travis. So there is a bunch of guys that are 1 through high second round. You
Yeah.
could see at least 6 go. So
If with the value on QB, this is gonna sound funny, but it's true. It depends on the combine.
correct.
If those guys all go up and athletically blow out the combine, then all of their stocks will rise. Like
That's
it's
the trend
it's
every year.
ridiculous how much stock some of those fucking scouts put into the combine sometimes.
Yeah, so check
Like-
out Texas this week. I don't think they're playing a ranked team, but Ewers is coming back. It is a good we talked about him being maybe the third or fourth quarterback, and then all of a sudden we forgot about him. And then we have
Well,
all these other
injury.
guys
If you're
jumping in.
not
So,
playing, out of sight, out of mind, dude. It's a week by week league.
Next
Everything
game,
is.
number 8 Alabama, 42 over number 14 LSU, which was only 28. LSU is not very good. Jaden Daniels is that whole team. As soon as he went down, it didn't get any better. Alabama, that Milrow, is it
Milrow.
Milrow? Dude,
Milrow.
he is a hell of a runner. If he can start to figure it out, they've found something running the ball.
We
with him
were
right
we were
now.
talking about that a pod before, I believe, and that kid can, if he figures out coverages and his arm has got strength, and he's dropped a couple of decent dimes,
Dude, yeah.
couple of them.
So if he can
Right.
start, I mean, he's in obviously.
He's got to
staying.
learn that. It's so funny that a guy can throw a 60-yard dime, but he can't throw a fucking 7-yard crosser on time, right? Like he can't
an
hit a guy
art.
over the middle, and that's the most dangerous part of the field. If you're gonna throw it in the middle of the field, you better know where the fuck you're going, because if you loft it, pick. If you undercut it, pick.
Or you'll
Like,
kill somebody.
oh, you're gonna get
Yeah,
your boy
get your
laid
boy
the
killed.
fuck out, no doubt. Yeah, targeting.
So I think that I think we've been down on Alabama for a while. All of us have. This game,
Well,
looked
they've
like
just been kind of waffling
They
for a
haven't
top whatever
looked
program.
as good
As
as
dumb.
if they have in the past. They
Right.
have been getting them better.
this game. Maybe they found something that maybe he's more of the runner than the thrower, and now that's what they're going to do. This game looked very. I know LSU's defense is not good.
I still don't think they beat Georgia when it comes.
I don't
down to
either.
it.
100%. Next game, upset.
Upset.
First one we're going to talk about. Number 22, Okie State. Last Bedlam goes in and beats OU. That is so cool on them getting that fucking dub.
I know you said that our game was the best game of the week. I think I watched this one play for this game was amazing. Like the back and forth, just knowing that was what was on the line. Like Oklahoma State just wanted it more, man. Gundy, I'm a man. I'm 40. That's one of my favorite takes
Wow.
I've ever.
Like
Come
that
at
sound
me.
drop.
Yeah, absolutely. But way to go out and get it, Pokes. Like that's emphatic. That's putting you get to hanging out there in the last time that it's a conference game. I guess you will obviously find a way to schedule it. It's what I'm terrified it's going to happen to the Apple Cup. Bedlam's going away. The Apple Cup's going away. The civil war between Oregon and Oregon State's going away. Like we're losing. Those are 100+ year rivalries, dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of sad, and I love that's part of the fun of college football is the pageantry of
that's
Of the
what
rival-
it
of
that's
the
what it
rivalries.
should be. That's
Of the
that's it. That's the backbone. That's where the NCAA's almighty dollar. This is why we shit on the NCAA is because they put the dollar in front of I guess there is don't get me wrong, going into the Big Ten, Washington will have a lot of fucking bigger matchups overall. They're gonna have to play fucking Ohio State and Michigan State and those Big Ten teams. Obviously, like that's huge,
But
right?
then let's just make Zach's.
fucking 40 then and
No,
get rid of
we're
some of
not
the shit.
Zach
doing
needs
this
to do that.
fucking bootsy like extra.
40 teams play in a top league, and they don't get to play any of the lowers. But Washington State and Oregon State make that. You don't get half the Big Ten teams. Think about how bad some of these Big Ten
40 is
teams-
not enough, dude. 40 is not enough.
Well, you told me to cut it down. I was at 60, and you said that was too many.
I don't remember saying that.
So Trevor remembers. Let's jump into another upset of the week, and I think that me and Trevor are going to take a big loss in this conversation. Clemson 31, Notre Dame 23. Me and Trevor real high on Sam Hartman coming in, and he has gone from what I thought maybe a second round pick to like you're talking fourth, fifth round. He is not
Because he's
good.
on his last year eligibility, right? He's
Correct.
got to
He's
go.
going.
If he's going
He's
to go.
going, and it's
Right.
not looked good.
That
Last
sucks.
3 weeks,
He has been.
and I was even thinking third round. I got to be more realistic. He's a fourth to fifth round quarterback the way he's played the last couple weeks. It's not been good and I'll take. But we did in our fandom last week wins and losses of what we thought. I'll take the big L on this one, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him at quarterback, but yeah, you think part of it is just the offense, or
I think that he's got to be a dude that's got to be
struggling.
Yeah, he doesn't move well in the pocket. He's not a great arm, so he's gonna, if he goes to the pros, he's got to go to a team that's got a good offensive line. He's definitely a backup. He's probably a smart kid. He went to Wake Forest. He's going to Notre Dame. He's got to be a smart kid, but he's gonna have to play. He's gonna be a backup, and he's gonna have to play with weapons.
He's gonna be right now. He's putting himself on a practice squad. Like it's unfortunate. I never mind seeing Notre Dame falter. Like I'll say that much. Like that's one of those teams. It's so funny. In our lifetime, they made it to the national championship that one year with Manti Te'o, and they got fucking whacked. But Notre Dame there's an old brand. They're one of those teams that never lives up to the hype, that never lives up to the old love that is shown to them because they've been around for a millennia, but they're not relevant. And like Sam Hartman is just another example of that to me. Yeah, unless you're a tight end, you're not doing anything at Notre Dame.
They've had some good pieces, but yeah, definitely a team that gets overhyped because of the brand.
Year in and year out, dude.
Next upset, we got two more upsets. Next upset, we talked about this earlier in the year. Nobody wants to see Arizona play right now. They just upsetted Arizona 27 over number 19 UCLA. 10.
I don't think upsetted is a word.
I don't think either, but
Arizona, you don't want to play them right now. They are beating everybody. They're playing everybody tough. Ever since they started Pac-12 play, they've been in every game, whether it's a win or a loss. Another big win for them. Good job, Big 12. I said it earlier. You're getting a good team coming in. You're getting a team, and I think even Arizona State, you're getting two teams that are trying to do the right thing and trying to get the dubs.
Yeah. Again, I've seen a couple pods now. Most improved, I think, from all the college football that I've seen.
Just the Pac-12 in general, it's so sad. We're watching what is statistically right now the best conference in the nation will dissolve at the end of this year.
Yep. Next upset, I think it's the biggest upset of the week. Unranked Army 23 over undefeated number 25 Air Force.
Well, yeah, because Army's not known for beating big teams.
Well, Air Force has been unstoppable this year. They have
unstoppable.
Rolled.
But whenever the military schools play, though,
it's almost like divisional. Yeah. Like it's grind it out, beat the hell out of each other, slow the game down. Like,
even though they're not in the same division, it's a divisional game.
Basically, they know each other. They play each other every year, right? Like the Army-Navy game, the Air Force-Navy game.
Yeah.
Let's look at games that are this week, starting right now. Sorry, Chuck, hit the table. This week?
Starting today, right now. I think there's 4 big games, and actually, if you time it out right, they're actually in every window. You get the 9 o'clock West Coast noon time. You get the Michigan Penn State game that's going on right now.
Blake Corum just ran in a touchdown a few minutes ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So Michigan's up 7-3. Trev, what are the other 3 big games that we have this week? I know there's
for the top 25 going on right now, Alabama's up 21-7 against Kentucky.
Wow, it jumped out. That's got me. What's that? A quarter in?
Yeah,
what are we, like a quarter in?
It's almost. There's a minute 22 in the first left.
Wow. Okay, that's the most points Alabama's scored in the first quarter all year. Come on, like they've been scoring like 3 or 7 points in the first quarter.
They seem to be finding their groove.
Okay, that Milroe kid, man. I bet you he'd be balling down there.
For the rest of the top 25, got Texas Tech jumping out to a 10-0 lead against Kansas.
Ooh.
Kansas is 16.
Okay, right, yeah. Kansas will battle, though. That's what they do.
They're good.
That's how they get their wins, is they just grit it out. Yeah. They just kind of hang around. And
And then the last top 25 game of the morning is Tulsa and Tulane. With
I love that. Well, Tulane, shout out Tulane.
Tulane up a touchdown.
Okay.
And then, did you want to get into that?
Yeah, what other ranks do we have? I think there's 4 big ones.
So, for ranked, Arizona now being ranked 21. They play Colorado today.
Welcome, dude. Hey, you know what? Keep smacking Coach Prime. Keep smacking.
I just want to see Arizona
playing, man.
I I like seeing teams prevail. I like seeing that good story, good over evil, I guess. And like for some reason, I've taken the narrative of I don't like what Prime has done in Colorado, setting this precedent of like I'm just gonna basically move in a team and then who? Okay, how long is he really gonna be there, Colorado?
Forever.
Forever? No,
He's not going to the
way.
pros.
I'm not saying pros, but Colorado's not.
Oh, he
it.
might go somewhere else, but he.
Colorado's not it, dude. That's still, even though he's bringing all of this money there and all, it's still not ever going to be that program. It's never going to be LSU. It's never going to be Alabama, Georgia, Florida. These blue bloods, dude. He'll find his way into something bigger, quicker, rather than
They
that.
have more wins than they did last season. We're only 1 year into his tenure. I'm kind of curious to see how far he can take that program because I think
I don't even think he'll be there within another 2 years.
You don't think 2
Nope,
more years?
I don't
mean,
even
they're
think
moving to the Big 12 now, so you know they're going to.
Don't even think he cares.
be a
I
little
think
bit
as
more
soon as he
relevant
gets
since
that call from
it's
SC, he's there.
Lincoln
Lincoln Riley, who?
Come on, man. Other afternoon games.
I think the outrageous guy here, Sean McVay, still hasn't retired from the NFL, so I'm taking an L on that fucking
So
prediction.
the big game at 12:30 is number 18 Washington at number 5 UW.
This is a trap game for UW. This is like Washington. Utah comes in with like
Last week was our
that
trap
hot
game.
offense.
We're ready for Utah. No, we're ready for Utah. We're ready to grind it out.
I hope so. I want to see.
Oregon
I want to
took
see. I want to see Washington, Oregon.
No, I don't. We're not going to take it to them. We're not in our pocket that way.
I want to see Washington and Oregon in the Pac-12 title game.
But yeah,
So I did
of
want
course,
to.
Washington and Oregon can't play in the Pac-12 title game.
Yeah, they can.
We're both north.
There is.
We can't. It has to be north versus south.
There is no. I think it's all one division now.
Oh, well, that would be
Did
new.
we get rid of north versus south?
I'm pretty sure everybody's talked about that at Washington and
Am
Oregon.
I
are gonna
that
play in the
behind?
Pac-12 team.
Yeah.
Can we confirm
I might have
that?
missed that too. I don't
Can we
know.
confirm that, please? If we've absolved to the round robin again,
I'm almost
because
sure.
that's huge.
Hold your-
I'm almost sure it is.
Okay.
Well,
no,
the next big
mine's
game
charging.
of 12:30. So if you want to flip back and forth between games,
Look, dude.
one's on 8 Fox.
Pause. I'm going to, after we end this segment, I'm going to look that up and we're going to fucking revisit that because I am extremely
Well,
curious.
no, I know it's true because they talked about it.
He
This
knows
morning
it's true.
on
Okay, so
college-
then I'm not even
on
going to look it
college
up.
game day.
So,
They,
All right.
It's been the thing. It's we are Washington and Oregon. If they win out, they will play in the Pac-12 title game. Again,
I
they
mean,
will
I
have a
guess I
rematch.
like it because it's the two best in the division, but it is weird because
Yeah,
the whole
'cause,
idea.
I mean, last year it wasn't that way.
No, it's
And I
just
didn't hear
north
about
versus
the
south. It's
change.
been that way,
it's-
yeah.
They said, this morning they talked about that if Washington and Oregon went out, they will meet in the Pac-12 title game.
Okay. Well, I mean, bizarre, but I'm not against it because I think that once again pushes the best teams forward. And
Yeah.
then it also, if you are Oregon and you guys have spoken on the idea that you think that they're the best one-loss team, gives them that ability to potentially get into the playoff with a win over Washington.
Pac-12 team should be in the playoff. this
Yeah,
season.
no, I think that does help Washington if they beat them again, kind of thing. Let's say that they win out, and then that's definitive,
be it,
right?
right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a win-win for the Pac-12. I mean, come on, Huskies, like
haven't had that
fuck,
Pac-12
man.
school in the playoffs yet, and they get it the last year.
No, we have
Yeah, Washington was in with.
and Oregon has
You're
as
right.
well. Yeah, Mariota got into the first year.
You are correct.
And then the next game, so if you
Flipping back and forth between Fox and CBS, and you
been a
get
while.
Tennessee, Missouri.
It has been a while, though. Yes.
It's a middle of the. It's 13 versus 14, but it is big for the. It is big SEC matchup.
Oh no, that game matters, dude. That
Tennessee
game matters.
plays
big time.
Alabama next Saturday
Yes.
too.
Exactly.
And then the last game of the week that is massively huge
is
massively
Ole
huge.
Miss versus Georgia.
Yep.
It's Georgia's, I think, big last test before the SEC.
I want to
championship
see Ole
game.
Miss clip them, right? Come on, that'd be so nice just to
I
like
know.
see a little chaos. Just a
I
little
would, but I don't.
I don't want to bring into debate
Yes.
the SEC having multiple schools in
Correct.
the playoff.
So I would like if Georgia could just win out because that means they would beat Bama and Bama would have another loss.
Yeah.
All
There'd
right,
be no
so
argument.
then I mean, let Georgia lose, which is fine, but then
They can
Alabama
still beat
would have
Alabama.
exactly have 2 losses anyway.
I
right?
just don't. Yeah, because then if I don't
There's
want
no
the SEC
way
on.
you could put a 2-loss non-champion
No, I know.
Alabama in over
But then-
Washington or Oregon.
But then if
or
Bama, yeah,
Florida State.
Florida State, depending on how
Florida
the
State's
ACC
going to
plays
win
out.
out. Well, Florida
Yeah,
State's
no,
gonna
I don't think there's any real scenario where the SEC gets 2.
Yeah, they get one. It'll be Michigan or Ohio State, and then Florida State in the Pac-12 school.
Should be.
Chuck, I know we have a new rules that Adam Schefter dropped that you want to talk about.
Dude, yes. Okay, thank you. Good throw. I think that, so this got dropped on X was where I found the information, was that Adam Schefter is reporting that if you are a junior that is declaring for the NFL draft, you are now allowed to play in the Senior Bowl. The what's the other two? There's two other like postseason all-star games. I forget what they're both
East
called.
and West.
Yeah, East and West.
Right. So you are now eligible, even if you're not a senior, to play in those bowl games. That's excellent. That's a wonderful way to increase the visibility of these potential draft picks. They get in front of different coaches. They get, because when you're only coached by one person at one time, like you only see a certain style. So when the scouts get to go and see you get mixed up with like different guys and stuff like that, that can skyrocket, man. There are guys.
You can look at every Senior Bowl and look at guys underclassmen that come up and dominate a SEC defense tackle or end, to Chuck's point, and then that raises their stock from a second-round pick.
I love this. Like, this is, as just somebody who wants the best talent in the NFL, this is just another step for getting eyes onto people who deserve it.
Like, to highlight their potential to get drafted. I mean, it shouldn't be just. It's nice that there is those games to highlight the seniors, but all these players are going in or trying to get into the draft. So I think it's
their last their last hoorah at college football.
Exactly.
Period. Any person who, like, let's be real, a lot of those seniors that are in the Senior Bowl aren't going pro. So I'm gonna get in on this cheers because I still have alcohol. I'm gonna finish this one and pour one.
Going to the original.
Sidebar real quick. Me and Trev have jumped into the original Cosmic Crisp. Our space dude is now riding a bicycle. It's blue label. Still 8%.
Which is kind of funny because you would think that this would be the color of the blueberry can. And, like, I don't know. I guess is that more
what color? Well, I'm colorblind, so what color is this?
It's like a light purple.
It's a lavender. It's a very, very light lavender.
Blue?
And that's
blue. I agree.
For sure, right?
But
I love that blue, by the way.
It does have a little bit more of that than the blueberry. Yep, it does have a little bit more of that than the blueberry.
Well, I'm gonna pour mine too, so wait for another crack here, you guys.
Still delicious, but any more thoughts on the juniors now being able to play in any bowls? I think we love it.
Yeah,
as college.
That's a win for everybody.
Yep.
Let's jump right into the NBA, which is a loss for the Blazers. Robert Williams gets hurt again. Dude is a presence down low defensively.
The Celtics look great for making him part of that deal then, don't they?
Dude, he is. I think we have had conversations off pod that when he is healthy, he changes a defense. He made the Celtics.
The offense too gives you a lot of length on the offensive side too.
But me and Chuck talked about, I think, a couple playoffs ago before we had started the pod, that if he was healthy, that the Celtics would have won playoffs because defensively he would have changed the game. But he wasn't, and again, he's hurt again. It's just another kind of dude that now his NBA career is going to be looked at like, what could have been because he's been hurt.
Yeah, there's
the whole NBA career.
Big guys in those injuries, man. It's tough.
Well, I mean, he's no Greg Oden, right? Or is that where
No, he's played better, but it's just you just look at him now and you're like, man, what could have been if he could?
It's unfortunate, sure. So the NBA has started the in-season tournament.
Yeah, a quick shout out to another guy that's helping their roster, James Harden, 0-3 since playing. Here's to that.
Shit lister number one. Shit lister number one. I love that. Good call, man.
I was listening to the other pod the other day. I gotta take a drink.
Drink the cheers.
That's right. Remember,
Astros are on the shit list too.
Bad luck to not drink after a cheers.
Astros are on our shit list too. So,
why are we throwing it to the Astros?
Because they are not on the shit list with James Harden, Brandon Staley.
How are they not? Weren't the Astros already on the
I don't
shit
think
list?
we ever talked
There's
about it.
no way they weren't.
I don't think we mentioned
That's an unspoken one, right? I don't even think we need to say that.
But when we move into our new
Cheers.
digs, because Charles Roscoe over here got a new place.
Once
We
again,
have
big
new
things.
digs.
It's been a hellacious week in the personal life, you guys. But we're trying to pull it together, and within another pod or two, we're going to be in a new setup.
So we
with
might
some
actually
heat.
have a whiteboard behind us that actually has shit lists on it.
We'll
Shit
actually have
whiz.
somebody with nice
Ooh,
handwriting
whiteboard is a
right
good
there.
idea.
Yeah,
like that.
fucking Dr. Scribbles over here.
I got
Nobody's
small
gonna be able to read
I got
it.
small handwriting. Anything else on the NBA? Like I know that right now we got
we're only
incoming,
10% in. Everybody's played about 8 games. Like
I love Curry. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
he
awesome.
is
nothing
just
wrong with that.
playing so great. I think averaging over 30 a game.
Correct. First
He-
person over 35 to
God.
average over 30 a game for the first 8 games in a season. or
I love
something.
that man. I love that man so much.
Shooters never die, dude.
It
And he doesn't
makes-
look 35, does he? The way he
Nah.
moves around, he looks very much closer to like his mid-20s
When you're
than
the
his
Greatest shooter of
mid-30s.
all time, dude. You play for Harbaugh.
He's
Yeah.
going to. It's insane to think that he broke the 3-point record. What was it, like 2 or 3 years ago? Already?
Yeah, and he's still jacking them.
Oh my
Love
God!
it.
Nobody's gonna catch that. I mean, are we? There, that's going to be an insurmountable record. And although I will say, since he has changed the game, I will give him credit where credit's due. I guess in a way, but
Oh, he's changed
there,
it.
there are kids now who know nothing but the 3-pointer, I guess. So in theory, eventually there will be a better shooter potentially. But good God, man!
Most
Like
influential basketball.
Basketball player of all time.
Dude, and I love watching him. Even if my team isn't
on
as good.
court. On court.
On court.
On
He is
court.
the most
We have to
influential
separate some of that
He's the
because
most-
I think
Yeah,
Jordan
sure.
is the most influential when you're talking about pop culture, when you're talking about who brought eyes to the game, when you're talking about on court Curry. It's
because he's
brought people that are like, oh, I can't jump because Mike brought us show, right? Being able to jump from the free throw line, being able to go.
he brought
this
us
and dunk it.
transcendence, dude. No,
But-
he went above and beyond.
But not
athlete.
everybody can do that.
Agreed.
Now you got Steph, who can everybody can shoot. Fuck, I
Oh,
can
you're
shoot.
talking athletically though. You're going
Correct.
about- okay.
He brought people into the game
Yeah.
that aren't. They couldn't because you'd be like, okay,
You
I
give
can't do
faith
that.
to the kid who's like, well, I can learn how to shoot. You can't teach a kid how to be 6'5" and jump. Like,
Exactly. So he is.
Steph Curry is the most transition or influential basketball player, right? Because he brings people that are smaller and like, dude, I don't have to be 6'4".
I still once again want to say on court though, because I want to separate the idea that like Curry is just one of many
I
that
don't
like will
know.
get lost in the shuffle of like.
He's gonna go down with.
Mike is the greatest to play.
I
the
don't
game.
think he's on a Rushmore. I don't think he's a Rushmore player.
I don't know.
He's
man.
pushing it now. He's the greatest shooter of all time.
Stay
He's
tuned
changed
for a Mount Rushmore.
He's changed the basketball landscape. He might be moving his way into the Rushmore. I don't know if he's on it now, but the way that
Is he a better
changed the
shooting
game-
guard than Magic Johnson?
He's a better.
Is he a better point guard than Magic Johnson? Because Magic Johnson's a true point guard. No,
That is
No.
very true.
Yeah.
Good call. Thank you. I'm sorry. He's
Magic Johnson is the greatest. point
But we
guard.
still have his
Oh,
career
right.
going. If he stays
Right.
healthy, the numbers are going to be stupid at the end.
Correct.
And man, again, his passion for the game is great.
Let me just backtrack and also state like all love for Curry. Like he's the furthest thing from a shit lister in any one of our.
He's
you know,
my
our,
favorite
like-
player. He's not even on my team.
I
I should hate him. He plays on a rival team. He's my favorite player to watch. He's my favorite player.
Yeah, so I mean,
Between him and Jokic, now that watching Jokic through a whole playoffs, Jokic has jumped up to my second favorite player, being that big and being able to pass and
I don't
shoot
know
and
that
stuff
big
like
donut
that.
motherfucker.
I love watching him play.
his
offense.
passing is
game
phenomenal.
I
is
love watching him play.
The way that he can direct the floor is pretty great. I will
Defensively,
agree with
yes.
that.
But even Steph is not a great defensive player either. So,
See, coming back to the not liking defense thing, this is just
But
a
dude, but my
narrative.
favorite-
Not from effort. He
yeah.
hustled.
But my favorite player of all time was a complete defensive player too, and won plenty of defensive championships.
Yeah, well, he also fucking geeked his brains out and made his head the size of a
No.
fucking air balloon.
Defensive basketball player.
Defense. Oh, you're talking about Kobe. I thought you were
Kobe?
I thought you were pointing to
The
Mark
Lobo.
McGuire. No, Kobe was an absolute animal, dude. Like, Kobe is one of those that like I missed the boat on because he was a Laker and I hated him, and because he's a Laker and he's part of the big evil machine. But post career, oh my god, man!
Dude.
Like, rest in peace, Kobe. Like, it's so sad. It's tragic what happened to him and his daughter. But like, listening to his post career interviews
It's
is
amazing.
it's electric.
Go back and listen to
It
any interview
tingles
with
you
him.
on so many different levels, man. Like
Him and Dan Patrick's interviews are amazing to do because he let Dan Patrick in because he
sure,
he
no,
thought
Kobe
Dan Patrick was
let that
great.
wall. Yeah, no. Once
So
he was
what-
non-competitive anymore, he
Dude,
became.
his interviews with Dan
Patrick are fucking amazing.
I
after
I
Kobe.
hated player Kobe because everybody who was like Kobe's number one, it's like, yeah, but he's the prototype too. He's Jordan too. Like, it's not to say that we haven't seen this guy before, right? Like, so
Yeah,
there's
but-
that argument. There's that argument. Go ahead. I want to hear Money's opinion.
I was just gonna say, yeah, but I mean, that just sounds like hate for mimicking the best basketball player to
He's the only
play in the
person even
NBA,
close to
and
what
he's the
I thought.
closest thing to what we've seen as
So
the
who's
man.
better, MJ or Kobe?
Yeah, you got to give it to MJ. He
I'll
was,
say it. I'm the biggest Kobe fan.
but
I also
Kobe's-
think that MJ he's my type of player, and then Kobe's my type of player. They're killers. I'm not a huge LeBron James fan for other reasons that we won't get into, but I also not a big LeBron James fan for the eat stuff, and I'm not a
banana
big
boat.
passive person. I love killers. I don't want to play with friends. If all three of us were big time like NBA people, I don't want Trev on my team. I wanted to play against Trev.
Wanna
Even
play
when we played
against
against
each other.
flag football and shit back in the day,
Even if
I wanted to play against Trev because Trev was fast, just like close to as fast as I was. So I wanted to play against him. I,
I
don't
think
necessarily
I
want
would
to-
take
Iron
more.
sharpens iron, baby.
I would take more pride and enjoyment in if we came up together, y'all, and everybody got drafted to different teams in the same league or whatever, going up against each other and
Yes.
beating. Yes,
Correct.
and there's still love and there's still friendship,
Yes.
but like I want to beat you. I don't want to
that
fucking like.
competitor.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Like that's
Embrace it.
that's what sports to me really when you boil it down to the mushy gushies, dude. It's like it's not that I can't love you, but I want to be better than you.
Okay, so do we have any other NBA talk recent before we jump in? Because we can dive down this rabbit hole for hours, and we have before. So
It's
Yeah.
true. I
Okay.
love that we give the NBA their due
We'll get heavier in when
as the season wears on.
yeah.
okay, so there's a quick MLB talk. We got so much common sense that it hit it real quick. So I want to hit an MLB talk that Craig Counsell leaves the Brewers to sign with the Cubs for more money. So it's an in division signing. I know as fans it bothers you when a coach does an in division or a player does an in division signing. Do you think that the coach thinks about it or anything like when Norvell left Nevada to go to Colorado State, or do you think it's just
That's
like
a step
money?
back, if you ask me. There.
Well, it's more money. It was more money at that point. I mean,
Yeah,
he
but
got
more
double.
money doesn't mean the school's better.
Right, but in this division, in this thing, he's had the Brewers winning forever, right? The Brewers are always a convo, and now he's going to the Cubs that he got a huge contract for. The Cubs haven't won since,
Just a handful of years ago. It
yeah,
was like 2018, wasn't it?
but they've been pretty bad as of late.
Yeah, they've definitely
Last year
regressed.
they made a run, but missed.
It's weird. It's a sidestep at best as far as like propelling yourself to the win column, but like as far as the nation loves when the Cubbies are the story. Nobody really gives a shit when the Brewers are doing great. Like Ryan
Except
Braun
for
and that
me.
whole thing, huh?
Except for me, because we love the hat.
Yeah, no, dude, that hand logo is fucking so clean. I love that hat for sure. But as far as like the brand, that's a major step up going.
But does it bother you? So you think it bothers a coach to leave? Because, okay, as a
No.
fan of the
We were just
Brewers,
talking
as a
about that with
Brewers
basketball.
fan,
Right,
you hate the Cubs. Or
You
you're not
should.
fans of the Cubs, right?
right.
So then
Hate's
your
a strong
coach
word,
but I
that
can feel
is
it.
like,
Really done a lot for you in the last, I think he's been there for like 10 years.
Okay.
Like, really had you in the playoffs. We talk about it all the time. Brewers are like that Rays, A's team, except the A's fucking suck all the time.
I was
now
gonna say,
lately.
where are you going with that?
Well, they're lower. They're always like that, like lower team that always plays good, and you've always kept him there. And you're like, oh, great counsel, great job. And now he just fake. Does it feel like he just kicked you in the nuts and left you to hang out to dry and went coach the Cubs because they gave him more cash and because there's that C on the hat?
As a
Welcome.
fan, you want your coach and your players to hate the rivals and the teams in your division like you do. But when it comes down to it, it's business. And that's
Yep.
what this is.
And homeboy got the bag,
Yep.
Dude, he did.
and come on, like
I know. I just wanted to
it's-
bring it up.
it'd be crazy. It would be like, you know, Pete Carroll going to the Niners after a fucking almost 20-year tenure in Seattle. Like, it would be a really tough pill to swallow. All of that's what happened with like Richard Sherman, and like players do it a lot. So coaches making that a business.
Yes.
You
Again, you
have
like
to
it as a fan.
separate.
Yep.
You have to separate the emotion. Like as a kid, it's hard. And as you get into an adult, it's almost harder if you've been a fan since you were a kid because you're so emotionally like. I told myself a couple of years ago, you guys, and I've done pretty well about this, that I wasn't going to let win-losses by the Seahawks affect my week because they were. There was a moment in my life where if we lost on
I
Sunday,
don't let it anymore. I used to.
Really about it.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like any true fan has had that come to Jesus moment where they're like, "Yo, I am letting these fucking wins and losses just."
It's a long
crush me."
season.
I
Can't
love
let
that.
one loss
I love that.
affect that team.
Fandom. Yeah.
So
no,
to
for sure.
close out the segment,
Let's go.
and close out the first segment as well. Close out this topic, the first segment. If you're a Cub, if you're a Brewers fan, do you hate Craig Counsell, Chuck?
Oh my God! Initially, yes.
Yes. Not even a
Yes.
question.
There you
I
go.
initially do, and then maybe come to
It's gonna.
realization
I
that
think. I
later,
think it.
but-
It really all depends on.
It'll become more lukewarm as time
Well, I
goes.
think it all depends on who you can bring in and if that they can actually propel you to
Make it
at
better.
the right amount of wins.
Right.
Like if they can get you to a playoff contender,
Sure.
year one, then you're gonna forget about
every
it
game
sooner.
this year that you see the fucking Cubs.
Oh,
and
you're
Craig
gonna want to
Counsell
punch him in
do-
the throat for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's.
We're all on
but-
the same page.
But yeah, absolutely. I want that kind of fandom. Trev was just saying you want your staff, you want ride or dies, bro. You want people to go with you. Like I'm wearing these colors today. You know what I'm talking about? But like,
Will I be wearing
unfortunately,
these colors later?
it's business first, man, and like it's why Seattle doesn't have a fucking basketball team. Fuck you if you're laughing at me. I will chug this right now on pod. Do you understand?
We're going to take a cheers here, and we're going to take a
We're
break.
gonna take a cheers here, and before I
And
finish
we
this
are going-
fucking cider,
We got a new beer to
We're
move
gonna
on
be
to.
done.
We're going to have a new beer next segment. We're going to talk college football and give basically a mid-season
NFL football,
NFL.
man.
Yeah, NFL football. Give a mid-season
Right here.
talk about whether we think the team has been above expectations, expectations we thought they were at, or if they've missed expectations. So we'll see you in a little bit, and we'll have a new brewski to talk about.
Yep.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Check out the
Cheers.
color of this fucking beer, guys.
It is dark. And it is chocolatey.
Oh my god.
Ooh, Chuck, what are we drinking?
Yo, chocolate graham cracker pastry stout from our friends at Untitled Art.
Is this
This is the third.
That's okay. Third Untitled
Yep.
Art beer. Third
We had
Untitled.
the yuzu hazy, or no, the yuzu hazy and the pineapple sultana
That's
IPA, hazy IPA. We've done
We
a
can
juicy and a hazy,
We can agree that all three are delicious.
and
is
this deep one
delicious
is
as well.
This is what I think of when I think of a chocolate stout, like this kind of beer.
Tell them what the percentage is.
about to hit you in the face with an 11.5. You guys, no, I'm
So
sorry,
good.
11. Let me correct myself.
So
That
good.
0.5 is a little extra, but
It
11.
is really good, and it is no taste of what an 11.5 should taste like. 11.5 should be kicking the pants. This is so smooth,
Still a heavy beer.
heavy,
It's-
very heavy.
it's,
You're only drinking maybe one or two.
Yeah, this is a meal in a glass.
You're not drinking two.
You're getting a great.
Do you get every layer of that beer? Do you get chocolate? Yes. Do you
Oh,
get
yeah.
graham cracker?
Yes,
A little bit.
a little bit of it's very chocolate forward. Do get a little graham cracker. I don't
I
know
get
what
a
the
lot of graham cracker.
I don't know what the pastry is supposed to be. Is that supposed to be the way the
Essentially, a pastry stout. What this defines as is sweet. It's gonna have
I
lactose.
love
in
the
it.
fucking smell, dude. You guys get that smell too?
Well, yeah, it smacks you
Big
with
time.
chocolate right in the mouth or right in the nose for sure. Overall, Untitled, another winner, man. I
I'll
love
cheers
the-
to that. That's
I
a
love-
third. That's 3 for 3, and
Yeah.
not like 3 for 3. You're like, yeah, it's 3 for 3, but like I gotta get another one. Not like maybe I'll buy another one.
And this is from where?
Wanaki.
Wanaki.
Let's go. Wanaki, Wisconsin. I've said
Chuck's
that
got it
so
down
many
now.
times. Shout, you guys. Good beer. I went into my favorite cellar in Reno last night, Craft Brewing.
Where's
Not
that
Craft Brewing, I'm sorry, but Craft Bottle.
Where's that located at in Reno?
It's on Virginia, just off of Martin. It's Virginia and it's literally that corner, and it is God's gift to beers drinker. Like, it is. They not only have it broken down by section, but they have it, or like by type, but they have it broken down by country as well.
Oh, no
like,
shit.
If you want international, it's they have it right here. Then they have your domestics. Or domestics meaning like United States or whatever. Not, but like, and then like your literal locals. Of course, everybody's got to have their local shout, and they get the premium locals too.
So we got a good local shout.
Yes, we do.
Overall, if you're listening to us in Reno, and you obviously hopefully like beer, which is one of the reasons why you're listening to us, go and check out Craft. It is.
I get more and more
supreme.
of the
Graham cracker.
graham cracker. The more I let
Sure.
it sit and
Love
have
it.
a drink later.
We also cracked it pretty quick. I normally let dark beer sit for a solid 20, 30 minutes before I drink it.
Yeah, he always makes me let him sit. I'm like, dude, I just want to fucking drink. He's
I
like,
know,
oh yeah,
but
that's it.
you
Like, fuck
every
that.
time
Come
we
on.
go back to the darker beers when they've sat for a little bit, you say, "Wow,
I know.
this has really gotten
But it's the same
better."
thing as like oven
Instant
pizza.
gratification, people.
Oven pizza, correct? Always burn the top of your fucking mouth.
Oh my
You
god,
never wait
dude!
long enough.
I have to
Same
find
thing with
something
the
to
stouts.
distract myself. If I
Same
don't,
thing. Same thing.
well, because you're thirsty, it smells good, and you want it. I get it,
Well, we
but
also
that's
had, like, 2 other beers, like looking to have got a good vibe going.
got a good Saturday
Feeling
morning
good.
vibe.
It's Saturday morning,
Feeling
baby.
good. All right, so this segment we're gonna hop into the NFL in review, and we're gonna give basically a mid-season breakdown as to if we think they're at expectation, above expectation, or below
Yeah,
expectation.
3 levels. That's it. Not get too complicated in it, but just give it straight up. When I think that they're going to be, and if we have a difference in opinion, then we're going to dive.
Well,
into
obviously
that
we'll have to debate it, but this is open chat, man. This is a
Correct.
great debate for everybody. Hit that fucking comment section, man. Let us know what you think about your teams and different teams and where things you thought were going to happen in the NFL that haven't happened yet, or vice versa.
When we get, obviously the Niners are on a bye, so they don't have a game to talk about. So we'll hit that in fandom. When we get to the Raiders and Giants game, and then the Seahawks and Ravens game, we're going to give an update on the Ravens, and we'll give an update on the Giants. We're going to save the Seahawks and Raiders update for fandom, and we'll hit all 3 of our teams in that fandom section. So don't think that we're missing them. We're going to do that in fandom because I think we each have a lot to touch on per team.
That's
I
the
think
current
those are
fandom is the middle of the NFL.
I think
season,
I think we each have a lot to talk about in per team. I think each team has a lot going on to hit. So
kicking us off was like one of the more boring Thursday games. It's just not hard to say. This upcoming game Thursday is legit, but this one that we're about to review, the Titans versus the Steelers.
Can we do something about the Thursday night games and not expect teams to be good?
No, I just think it's like you have to.
I know you're trying to give everybody a shot to be on TV, but you should not.
Well,
expect
no,
teams
that's
to
not
be
it. It's about making the season when it's preseason hype. You have to make the schedule before you know what these teams actually are. Like that's why the Jets still have so many primetime games.
I understand that one. The Bears being on so many and the Raiders being on so many.
No, because they were an ascending team. It kind of makes sense. The Raiders were too. Like
still, it would be nice if we could flex those games.
Oh no,
it's
I
a
agree.
primetime game. You got all eyes on it. You don't want to watch 2 teams that have 2 wins between them.
I don't think you can flex
Thursday, but you should be able to flex Sunday night to 1 o'clock.
Definitely.
The Thursday night games, I think they just need a plan.
No,
better
yeah, the
for
days
teams
don't make sense.
I think that they just need a plan better for teams that they expect to be good, not teams you're hoping to be good. Some of those hoping teams, some of the teams you expect to be good aren't going to be good because of injuries. I understand the Jets, but some of the other teams like the Raiders and the Bears, those teams should maybe be. You shouldn't have put them in so many games because there was expectations. You should have had other teams in that spot.
Sidebar again.
Yeah, I mean, I have an idea for that, and they've kind of done it for some of the primetime games, but I think it makes more sense for the Thursday games because it's kind of hard to predict how the seasons are going to unfold. That would be a great day to have those division matchups. These teams know each other better.
I like that more.
You need less time to prepare.
It's
going to be a good game regardless.
Here we go. That's a great idea. Division matchups on Thursday is a great idea.
Well, because exactly. Yeah, agreed.
Fucking Panthers. I know we want to see a young Bryce Young You're trying to get on TV.
Justin
You can't
Fields,
expect
sure.
that team to be good.
That just happened 3 days ago. We're even in the week before that.
I know, and you're thinking that you can't expecting the Bears to take that step to become a team that you put that high on. Same with the Raiders.
It was
I'm a
the
Raiders
Fields.
fan.
It was Fields. I fell
Dude,
for that
that's-
hype too. I
Preseason
fell for
hype,
it
like
hard.
you're saying,
I
man.
fell for it
But dude,
hard.
they make shitty fucking TV,
Games.
dude.
Yep.
But
Okay, so sorry. Let's jump into the Thursday. Sorry, Chuck. I know we got on a whole
with sidebar.
sidebar.
We
Huge
love this side. We've sidebarred several times this pod.
But
So
I
16 Titans, 16 at the Steelers, 20. So it really even that scoring of a game, you should get like one or two big pop plays. That game sucked. That game sucked. I watched that game. It sucked.
I think the Titans. I'll start Titans. I think Titans are exactly where I thought they're going to be.
Okay.
And not a very good team. I think the Steelers are better than I thought they're going to be at this point, but I think that they're going to end exactly where I had them and not a very good team and maybe a losing record.
I am 100% with you with that. Yeah,
Both teams?
Titans. Yeah, with both teams. It's like Titans. They're gonna go through some ups and downs.
And I think that they made. Sorry, Trevor. I don't mean to cut you off. I didn't raise my hand. I think that the Will Levis starting on the Titans. I think I don't remember if I called it on a date. I think that me and you are huge on him. I think that this is the exact right step forward. And if I'm a Titans fan, I'm very scared that Robert Kraft comes calling for Mike Vrabel and gives him a huge bag to come coach the Patriots. Because I think Mike Vrabel is a huge, huge part of the Titans as a whole. He brings he is like the whatever you want to call it, like the Heat way, the Patriot way. Mike Vrabel brings like his football mentality to that team, and that's the reason that team's always competitive. So as a Titans fan, I'm very scared that happens. Otherwise, I think the Titans are where I think they are, but I think they're on the up and up with a Levis and a Vrabel match.
Yeah,
Sorry, Trev.
They're making the moves they should to grow as a team. They're not ready to truly compete. Sure, the South is obtainable, but this season you're not really even looking at that.
But even if they
It's
get the
development.
AFC South, what are they going to do in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's the thought. It's more a development year. You got Levis in there now. We thought he was gonna be the guy that who's gonna be the guy in the future.
Yep.
So
Well, yeah, I mean, with the way that they moved up in the draft, they clearly stated that, even because he was just right there at that point, right?
yeah, he fell further than a lot of people thought. We both
way
were high
further,
on him,
yeah.
and we think
I
that
at least
he's
had him
the
in
guy
the
going
mid
forward.
20s, but
And as a rookie, sure, you'll have the ups and downs. The team has, they're not strong in all areas. They had a lot of injuries on that offensive line, which kind of
always hurts.
But yeah, they're exactly where I thought they'd be. The Steelers are playing better than I thought they would, and I expect them to have a little bit of regression with as tough as that North is. That is the best division in football. That's what I expect to see. Do you have anything different on those?
I mean, okay. No, I mean, I don't want to beat those two horses to death. Like, the Titans
Sorry.
are good, not great. That's what we thought. The Steelers are better than good, which is, I was a little higher on the Steelers, but I didn't think it was going to, they've been bad. They've been historically outscored or outgained in every game and still won 5 out of 8. You got to give Mike Tomlin, the credit to having an amazing wherewithal to win the close games. That's championship football. I don't think that they're going to win a championship. I'm just saying, that's a great pedigree.
Offensively.
Yeah. On to, am I giving the next, or do you have I feel like we beat this one to death. So
I just think that the Titans
are a great example of what a team can be with a good coach compared to what
and
a
a
team
mid
can
roster.
Be, correct. What a team can be with even a better roster and a
shit coach for sure.
I really think that the Titans are one of the, and I think that the Cardinals, we're going to talk about at some point, are another example of that. Even though the record doesn't show it. You see the way people play.
Battled.
So yeah, no, that's all I want to say. Yeah, I think
but a raise in Vrabel's future possibly.
I think that's very scary as a Titans fan, dude.
Next up, man, this was a game that when we talked about it, it's the Frankfurt game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins, and
Dude, I think this showed a lot.
Man, we thought it was going to be a 52-42 game. It was 21-0 at half, and then ended up 21-14.
I thought it would have been more like 28-17.
I was thinking more like 35-38.
I think that. Sorry, Chiefs. I think that they are a really great team, but they're not what I expected to be because they are way better on defense than I expected, and not very good offensively. Still, receivers core is
bad.
Is a real injunction.
Bad.
And I think the Dolphins are kind of what I thought they'd be. They're a good team against bad teams, and they struggle against good teams. And I think they've kept. Last week was a perfect example, dude. The Chiefs put a lot of pressure on Tua. If you can't play on time in that Dolphins offense doesn't work as good. If they can't play on time.
And
that was our worry. That was our worry going into the season was the offensive line, and they've kept him on his feet a lot. I know I said that I thought he wouldn't get past, but I thought the offensive line would get him hit more. I love that they play good football, but dude, they have a struggle against good teams, and that is kind of scary. When you're good against bad teams, but you kind of get your ass kicked against good teams. If the Chiefs offense would have been half decent, dude, that game would have been out of hand. Dude, that defense fucking dominated. It's scary that the Chiefs defense is that good. So I think the Chiefs are, I don't even know how to put the Chiefs. The Dolphins are what I thought they'd be. Good against bad, not good against good. But the Chiefs are like, good, really good still, but opposite of what I thought. So I don't know how to answer the Chiefs question.
I'm with you there. The Chiefs defense has been better than I expected it to be. It's good to see them grow.
Like top 5, top 3?
They're
top 4?
Yes, it's higher than what was probably projected, I'm sure. And that offense has been, outside of Kelsey, you don't have a strong number 2 receiver, which is kind of sad to see.
You don't have a strong number 1.
Well, Kelsey is your one.
Strong number 1.
Kelsey
is okay. I guess I heard the word receiver, and
you're right though.
He's a receiver.
Dude, Sky Moore
is not a blocker.
Sky Moore dropping passes. We like the Rice kid, and then the next week that we talked about him big on the pod, he comes out and drops passes
up and down.
MVS says it doesn't get open. They went out and got Mikael Hardman, right? McCall. Dude, is he anything? I never thought he was.
He's a gadget player. No, he's a special teams player with a little bit of upside on, jet sweeps and maybe a catch or two in the open field.
The Sky Moore thing, which I think a lot of people,
including us three, thought he'd be better. He struggled, and I think Rice needs to catch the ball more. Other than that, dude, they're not good.
Yeah, as it looks now, I think that's gonna catch up with them when it comes to playoff time.
It could, dude.
As far as the Dolphins go, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Frauds. That team is good enough to beat the bad teams. They haven't got to that point where they can beat the good teams. The season is the season. You play those games, you lose to the good teams, you beat the bad teams.
That's what does that mean when you get to the record? You're done. You're one and done. You've got to win. Championship football is defined by a lot of things.
Yeah, they're good enough to get to the playoffs, and then they're just going to lose. That's how I see it.
No, there's filler on all the brackets for sure, and that's why the Chiefs are honestly Mahomes is always going to give you a shot, even with them shit-ass receivers. That defense is well above average this year. Oh. The Dolphins, speed, scheme. When it works, it's cool as shit. You can put up 70. Everybody's dancing. McDaniels is giving an amazing press conference. But they're not where they need to be. They don't win the games that they need to.
I thought their defense would be better. I know they just got Ramsey back not that long ago.
That Van Ginkel kid is legit. I'll give him that. Every time I turn on a Dolphins game, I hear him making mad tackles. So, and then obviously you have Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey just came back. What was it, 2 weeks ago now? Yeah. So, as he gets into form, I think that Miami's not far off. But right now, that fraudulent tag that you have levied on them doesn't seem like it. That seems accurate because we sat here and we were like Miami's going to beat the Eagles. That didn't happen.
Well, I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, that's right. Then that's so.
I thought they might beat the Chiefs, and they did the same thing.
Next up, y'all. So it is my game is on the ledger. So. I will bury more into the Seahawks
Let's
later.
just
Yeah.
hit the score. And then
37-3 Ravens over the Seahawks in Baltimore. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my
I'll
life.
take a little bit of an L on the Ravens. They're starting to look like they click defensively.
They're better than I thought they would be. The back ends played better. The front seven is really good. Their linebacking core is studly. They're getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. The offense is now all of a sudden looking like they're starting to click, but they're also getting healthy. Not running back wise, but receiver wise, they're getting healthy. Obviously, we know Mark Andrews. I didn't fuck it up this time.
You didn't?
Is a stud, one of the top 4/5 tight ends in the league. And now Beckham's kind of playing healthy. Flowers has kind of been there all year, so you're starting to get healthy on that side of the ball. And now they found some running backs. Gus Edwards is more the pounder, but then they found the other kid who's running real well the last 2 weeks. So I think the Ravens are playing better than I thought they would be. And then we'll talk about the other team later. So what do you think about the Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, nice to see from their rookie running back. I mean, I know it was maybe garbage time in that game, but he pops.
Oh, Keon Mitchell? No,
Yes.
I mean,
That's right,
when he was doing it, that wasn't garbage time.
No, it wasn't garbage
He
time.
had
He's
very
already-
meaningful
Yes.
yards. Dude.
He's
he
a
was
one now.
averaging like 7.5 yards a carry. It was just,
Where's that run defense?
Well, let's get to it later. Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry.
don't hype him up right now.
All right.
No.
But the Ravens, I thought they were going to be good. They're good. That defense is getting better, which was, I think, the part that was kind of lacking. That offense is still kind of finding its way too with the new coordinator, but they're scoring enough. The defense is holding down teams that are looking like one of the better teams in the NFL.
Correct.
Definitely.
Seahawks. Nope. You gotta wait. We gotta wait.
We're okay.
Didn't I tell you that could end up being this kind of game?
You did, but can you touch it on the one team and not touch on the other team?
No, I just like
Yeah.
that. No, I'm not going to get into it because that's
Okay.
what my fandom
All right,
is.
so-
For the Ravens. No, for the
Go
Ravens.
down. Okay,
For the
I
Ravens,
know.
I
thought
picked
you
them
were
to get to
gonna
the
do
Super
it.
Bowl. I picked them to get to the Super Bowl for a reason. I thought they're a great roster. I thought that they would perform better with being freed from the shackles of fucking a terrible goddamn offensive coordinator. Like Lamar still needs to get it to wide receivers more. Like Odell Beckham did actually score his first touchdown as a Raven.
Yeah,
against the
that
Seahawks
receiving
in
core is actually
garbage
not
time.
that good.
That was, huh?
Bateman sucks. Come on.
He
The
seems like a
receiving
mid.
core is
Zay
not
Flowers
that
seems
good.
like a hit though.
Zay
Flowers
Flowers
seems
is
like a
like
hit.
a-
So if he could
Flowers
compliment, if he
and
could
Beckham.
compliment Andrews,
Andrews,
yeah.
yeah.
Like
That's more than
Gus
the Chiefs.
Edwards had another 2 tuds. They beat us, dude. We're gonna get into the Seahawks later, but Ravens are right where I thought they were gonna be. You were lower on
Same.
I know.
them. We
You
were
guys-
higher
you guys
on them,
were-
and
Yep.
I hate that it happened against my team, but I'm not surprised. That was the team I thought I was gonna. Even Lamar was only mid. We're soft in the center of the field, and they exposed that.
Okay.
Next up.
Move on.
Next up. Shout out a fucking goose egg for the Cardinals against the Browns, y'all. 27-0.
Dude,
that rookie quarterback too.
Yeah, but that's
Hey,
how
can
you
we-
gonna start?
can we-
How you gonna start him against that? defense?
Here's what we're gonna
That's
do real
just a
quick. Here's what we're
fucking
gonna do real quick. We're all gonna say Cardinals right where they're supposed to be, right?
Well,
Give me
I
your
actually,
Browns opinion.
I think they
They're
actually.
scrappy, sure. They're scrappy.
I
but
thought
come on.
the Cardinals have actually played better than I thought. The record is right where I thought, but they played a lot better.
Fair enough.
Uh,
I think we
Brad-
all
the
agree
fight.
with that. That's what I'm saying. Let's not beat that to death. Let's
The-
go with the Browns
the
because they're
Browns-
interesting.
The Browns are defensively exactly where I thought they were going to be, and I picked them. As
Schwartz has got them playing.
and I picked them that they could compete because I thought maybe Deshaun would take a step. So defensively, yes. Offensively, blow. So I don't remember where I had. I think I had them finishing. Did I have them finishing over the Ravens or did I have finishing third? I can't remember. So I don't know if I want to put them right where
There's
I thought they
no
were
way you
going
had
to
the
be.
Ravens in fourth. Did you have the Ravens?
No, I had the Ravens either third or. Did I have the Ravens? I went Bengals and then did I go Ravens, Browns, or did I go Browns,
I don't
Ravens?
I have to look it
So
up.
so defensively, yes. Offensively, no.
Okay.
And I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah, in a similar mindset, like the defense has actually been a little bit better than I thought, especially with the offense having the struggles that they've had. Chubb, it was such a big part of that
Oh,
offense,
fuck.
and losing him changes a lot for the Browns this
It
year.
does, but Ford has been a relatively reliable
I like Jerome
replacement.
Ford.
Yes, they stepped up, but again, I would love to see this team with Chubb healthy. They would definitely be in the playoffs with that division they're battling. So
Well, that's why everybody had Cleveland. But let's be honest, going into the season, everybody knew that Deshaun Watson was still a question mark and Nick Chubb was the stone, right? Like that's what we're gonna
Correct.
ride until Deshaun figures it out as Nick Chubb. And
But
then when
did
he
you guys
blew his
have?
shit,
But did both you guys have Browns at 4?
no,
I had them
Yes,
above the
yes.
Steelers for sure.
I had them at 3, and I thought, I mean,
We
it
all
would
have
depend
it.
on, like,
I think we all had them at 3.
I
You
mean,
guys
that
have Ravens
seems
at
like
1.
the spot to have them in that division. I mean, that team, Deshaun, I was hoping to see more from. They might have. He had a good game
I think as
last
a
week.
general NFL fan, we're all trying to see more from Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I don't. I kind of wish he was.
I loved him. I loved his top fucking advisor.
He was a stud. That's what I'm
I
saying.
wanted to see him
Like,
fail, and I wanted to see him out of the league.
Up to this point, that's where you're at, huh?
Yep. I do not like him. I think that his whole thing that happened with the court, he's a straight predator. He is a fucking not a great person, and we give this not great person $265 million contract fully guaranteed.
Such a Browns play to make that contract.
I think that he's a piece of
my
shit,
God.
and I don't think he should be allowed in the league to make $265 million for being a predator. So no, I want him to fail.
Okay.
next up,
Sorry.
it does. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes realness has
Sorry,
to happen.
sorry.
We like real talk. We don't want that fake shit. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Dude, we all knew. I thought he was a.
Next up is Buccaneers at the Texans. This
Great
was you
game.
want to talk. I was going to say, yeah.
Great fucking game.
Probably.
Let's go.
CJ Stroud.
I wanted some rookie marks.
CJ Stroud, right?
Breaking records.
Can we?
Breaking records.
I think-
470.
I think me and Trev,
470 and the game-winning
I
drive.
think me and Trev took an L last week in our fandom on the CJ Stroud. So cheers to you.
Again, you fucking killed
I was
us
the
again.
only one who had him at 2. I was the only one who had him
I
at 2.
liked him better than Young. I did.
I
But
did
it
not.
didn't affect your mock
I
draft.
took a loss on it.
Well, no, because I was trying to
Take
play
it
to
from
how
me.
I thought that. You're right.
But I think that
37-39.
if we're gonna go, I actually give both teams an above performance.
Agreed. Oh, for sure.
I actually think that the Bucks, and I've never been a Baker fan. We can talk off
True.
fan. I've never been the Baker dude. His first 3 games he played, I was mine. The next so many, it's been exactly what Baker is. Baker plays what Baker does. If he doesn't make mistakes, he's a manager. This week he did a really good job. The defense let him down.
Number 1, 2.
But the Texans are playing really good for D'Amico. CJ Stroud's a hit. The receiving core with Nico and all those other dudes, they've been playing really good.
Dell
And they didn't
and
put up those
Mechie.
points with Pierce.
And Dalton
guys.
Schultz had a coming out party.
Well,
in
Dalton
his
Schultz is
game.
a dude that he should have been that we thought.
No,
we all
no.
thought that was a miss on the Cowboys. for
Yeah,
dumping him.
with the money you would have had to have given him. Like,
So
yeah,
I think I almost give both teams a plus, not medium. Maybe the Bucks are medium because I think they're coming back down to the level. But the
even
Texans are
still,
definitely high.
like I gave the Bucks 3 wins.
I
for
see.
the
Well, I was
entire
higher.
season.
I was higher on the Bucks.
I was.
I think they're both.
I gave the Bucks the lowest grade I think in any NFL team.
What do
Dude,
you
I
think,
was,
Trev?
They were definitely one of my lower grades as well, just because I thought the loss of Brady was just going to hurt the mental game for a lot of those guys on that team. And Baker has done a fair job of keeping them competitive. Both of those teams have played beyond. I kind of like the Texans, but I didn't expect them to hit as well as they have. So-
Chuck was Ben Chuck. I'll give Charlie the credit.
Well, I've been riding the Texans. I've picked them like 3 out of the fucking 9 weeks.
I'll
Like,
give Charlie
that's been my
that
bet.
credit.
And I've hit. I hit them all. Like, no,
That's you,
CJ,
brother.
you guys, like, I don't know, man. It's just the vibe. It's the feeling.
Yeah, it seems like that culture is making that
Oh,
change
D'Amico's got
to
him.
getting them going.
It's just there's this bounce.
Yep.
You're ready for shit to
Feel
just
it.
pop. Like It's right there.
You got to be excited for
100%.
next season. You're building something. You're feeling confident that you're going to bring in some players to help you.
You're
get to
right
that
where
next level.
Jacksonville was about a year ago, right?
Yep.
Where you knew you feel the tingles. You got some
You
players.
got some tingles.
You're
I think the Jacksonville roster is just
a little bit better
Well, right
last
now,
year.
yes.
No, even
last year?
Even
right.
last year.
No, yeah, you're speaking on it.
Even last year, because I think 2 years ago we had the Urban Meyer throw up mess. So last year, I even think the Jacksonville roster is better. I think the Texans need another good draft, and then we'll be at that can they?
Well, I mean, they're going to be without the first round pick.
That is
because of that big trade.
But you can still
But free agency is going to be big for them.
and you can still have a good draft.
I think
without a first round pick.
that they are going to be actually a relatively attractive spot to go to.
I think so
Because
too.
of the
Defensively.
momentum, which is
and you live in Texas.
no, but even
No
CJ
taxes.
Stroud, you could tell somebody who can bang on offense, hey man, like the CJ came in and fucking lit it up. If you come in and teach homeboy, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
You're
could be
feeling good.
very appealing to some veterans or ring chasers or whatever. Like
If I was a Texans fan, I'd feel excited.
I'm tingling right there for the Texans, and I traditionally do not like any Texas team, but D'Amico and just. It's a good story. It's a good story down there. It's a good
Marcus
story down there.
Simeon, Corey Seager on the Rangers. You got a lot of Texas tingles going on, Chuck. Go ahead with the next score.
Oh no!
Go ahead with the next score, Chuck. Go ahead with the next score.
Move it along.
Look, I
That'll
will
move the
not be
chains.
forced.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, next up. We've already touched on the Bears. Already played another game. Bears versus Saints. The Bears were -5 in turnover differential in this game. It was 17-24 Saints over the Bears.
Bears
So
are exactly where I thought they're going to be. I don't need to say anymore. I think I've harped on it enough. The Saints are less than I thought they were going to be because I picked them to win the Super Bowl or picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I think the offensive line has been very underwhelming.
Suspect.
Other than that, I think their defense has been great. I'm still waiting for some of the offense to click. Part of that's offensive line. Part of that's Thomas. Just part of the chemistry and all together. But one trade of that team should have been, but that's because the Raiders weren't going to make a move because they were firing people, would have been the Renfro thing, and the Saints said that they never got a call back on Renfro. But I think the Saints are lower, and the Bears are right.
Yeah, it could have been interesting to see if the Raiders made that move a week earlier before the trade deadline of what changes might have been made. As far as the Bears go, I was a little higher on the Bears.
Me too.
I expected Fields to be healthy, of course.
Me too.
In that defense, you expect to be better. We talked about before, you having that defensive head coach. Eberflus. You expect that defense to be better, and they haven't been that. I mean, they brought over Sweat just because their sacks have been really low, so that defense hasn't been getting to the quarterback.
No.
It's made a lot of things hard for them. And then the Saints, we all kind of had them win in the South.
They are right
But
now,
They
though.
should have.
They
You
are
look
right
at that
now.
or no, should have. They still can.
They still can.
They're
I
5-4,
kind of
they are
like
winning the South.
Atlanta ahead of them at this point.
Atlanta's 4-5.
I'm not. Dude, okay. Atlanta was. I guess we'll get into them
We'll get
later.
to
I'm not going to touch Atlanta because we will get into them. But as far as the two that we're reviewing, Chicago, I was higher on. I had Chicago second in my NFC North. I had them behind we all had the Lions, but I had them at 2.
I had them at 3.
And the Fields injury
4?
sucks. Yeah,
No, I did
that's
have
true.
them at 4 with
Yeah.
Packers, I think.
You were low. No, he was the lowest, and he does technically win that argument right now. So yeah, underwhelming for me for sure for the Bears. Saints underwhelming, but with the ability to still fucking pick it up, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that team is right there. That team could grab the NFC South by its throat real quick.
In the
That
next
division
couple
is
weeks,
up for
in the
grabs.
next couple weeks, they could.
Sure. I don't think they will. I don't think Dallas Allen's the guy. We've talked about that several times. All of us agree on that. On to the next is going to be two very curious teams. Vikings 31 over the Falcons 28. I almost sidebarred onto the Falcons during our last game.
I got a sidebar for the Vikings coming up.
I think the Vikings are lower than I thought because I actually picked them. I thought people were low down on them, so I had them winning it. but
I was
they're-
down on them,
I
but
think they're a
they've
little bit
now
lower.
won 4 in a row.
I think they're a little bit lower than I thought they're going to be.
Yeah, no,
But-
they're definitely lower than you thought they were.
But I also think that they have a great coaching staff, and that they are just next year. I'm excited. It'll be exciting to see what they do next year. And they're kind of what they are now, depending on. I mean, they're playing with the back quarterback.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, with Cousins out, you're not going to know.
And then the Falcons, they're exactly what I thought they're going to be. I didn't pick them to win the South. I picked them, I think, second in that division. And that's where they're going to finish. They might get back to. They might finish 8-9. They're probably 7-9. They are what they are, and that's what that. Yeah.
In a similar fashion, I had the Falcons just missing the playoffs in my preseason predictions, and I thought they would be that second team that could compete for that spot. And for the Vikings, I had them making the playoffs. I still thought that team is good enough, and even with Dobbs, like I don't think they're out of it. I kind of
He got him a win. Shit,
Yes.
man.
In that short time that they had together, they still won. I think it's going to be decent moving forward. That team, that defense has gotten a lot better.
Flores.
Yes, Flores, man, he's been great.
Well,
for
Jordan
them.
Addison's got to win Rookie of the Year, right?
He's
CJ.
up there. CJ Stroud's got to be the
I want
guy.
our boy to win.
Yeah, but
Yes,
CJ's
room for me to win money.
CJ's got such a head start.
No,
does.
that
Quarterback.
470 and 5 tugs that's almost a statement.
And he
That's-
has only one pick all year. CJ's winning it. You could go bet on him now, and maybe get some.
No,
half.
he's
the odds
leader.
is not as
Yeah, it's
good,
got to
for
be
sure.
bonkers for sure.
But for the Vikings, though, too, I kind of grouped them in with Seattle and the Cowboys at this point. Like, I had the Vikings as a wild card team. I see those other two teams as wild card teams. I don't think that there's a big gap between them. Yes, I could see Seattle
Did you just
finishing ahead
compare
of
the
them.
Vikings to Seahawks?
I did. I have them
I
as a
can't
wild
wait
card
to
team because I
hear
still have
this.
them finishing second to the
I
Niners.
get that, but you're talking about the
Okay, hold
overall
on.
state of the franchise and where there's talent and where there's.
Oh no! Let's get into this.
Open it up.
God!
Hold on,
Oh
let's get in the
my
fan. Let's not
God!
get
I
this
was
out.
about to.
All right, Chuck, what do you feel on those two teams so that we can?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for keeping it on track. Because
Yeah,
I was about to.
I know.
Fucking.
Hold on. You saw
Vikings.
Grab your lunch.
Vikings. So once again I thought they were going to take a major step back, and for the first part of the season they did. And to be fair, they're clawing, they are scrapping, and they are championship football. Win the games that people don't think you're going to win. Justin Jefferson's coming back. There is not bright stars in Minnesota, but come on, man! Like they're doing those things that you didn't think they could. So until they don't. It's the Colorado. It's the Coach Prime. Then they got smacked by USC. Welcome back to Earth.
I mean, the Vikings are competing for that wild card, though.
They are, for sure. At this point, over 500. There's a lot of football left. McDonald, right? It's Kevin McDonald is his name? O'Connell, I'm sorry. Thank you.
From the
That's why I
Rams.
asked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sean
No,
McVay.
he has proven himself to be a relatively steady head coach.
Yeah,
So
I give him that.
I mean, I think that they could still
I like
they
his
will
coach.
put the Lions are going to take the North. The Vikings
Yeah,
are
called
pushing for. We all did. That was
I
a
did.
sweet.
I tried to be a yes.
You didn't call Lion? Oh, that's right. You called Minnesota.
I
That's
tried to
right.
be a guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Falcons. No, Arthur Smith. God damn it! You don't take a running back fucking 8th overall and then do this. Like that's not.
I don't understand.
You don't build teams like this. I'm sorry. So I want the Falcons, dude. They were my NFC team. When I was a child, we were in the AFC West. Throwback, right? Like when we realigned in 2002, the Chargers and the Seahawks actually flipped AFC NFC. So when I was a kid, like I loved the Falcons because of the Dirty Birds and Jamal Anderson and Chris Chandler and that whole little era that was like in the late 90s. And because I was like, all right, AFC, NFC, I can have a little bit of fandom in both, right? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is now the Falcons aren't building a team correctly at all.
Well,
They're overvaluing
you
things,
draft
right?
Bijan, and you have that coach that is heavy
Derrick Henry,
on the run. He wants to run
and
the
he's
ball.
not giving Bijan
And
the touches.
then you don't give him the touches. It's just, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand how that's
So-
your philosophy. You draft for it and then you don't implement it.
Right. So to close this out, right where I thought the Vikings would be, actually maybe a little bit above. I was lower on them. And then the Falcons are underwhelming for me, because if you're gonna do that, you've got to be underwhelming. Next up, Rams versus the Packers.
I think
Is
3 is all the Rams scored to the Packers 20. Now it was Lambeau.
And it was ripping too at
Low
quarterback.
on
That is their truth.
I think I was right on the Rams, and I was low. I missed on the Packers. They're lower than I thought they'd be. Jordan Love is the main aspect of that. I thought the rest of the team has played well, defensively and offensively. I thought Aaron Jones getting hurt doesn't help. The receivers have done what they're supposed to do. It's a Jordan Love factor
On
for the
Jordan
Packers. Other than that, I think I was right on. What was the other team?
I
Sorry.
love it. No, bro, we do it, Rams.
I thought I was really right on the Rams. I thought I was higher than both you guys on the Rams. I think they played really well. And I think I was too high on the Packers, mainly because I thought Jordan Love would be better.
So for me, I was higher on the Rams or the Packers than I was the Rams. But they're both kind of playing what I thought they would play. Like, these are both teams that are in transitions that
No, you were low on the Rams, weren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I was lower on the Rams than I was the Packers. And I was low on the Packers. I still had them tied, I think, for last with the Bears in the North in our early season predictions. I still thought that defense and the rest of the team would carry him further than where the Rams would end up. But with the Rams, I thought it's a young team. They're having to build through the draft, which, I mean, they fucked them picks. So it was. I felt like it was a step back kind of season for them. But that was what do you got?
Right there in the middle of the season, both of these teams were right where they kind of should be. Like, the Rams, I guess preseason going in, I was low on, and they've outperformed overall for my initial.
Outperformed your low.
Yeah, I
expectations.
was very, and then I bet them a couple of times to cover. They covered on the Cowboys. They covered on a couple of different things. Like, so I mean, there is this performance, and once again, that McVay, like, when it clicks, it can click. The Packers, I was a little bit higher on. I thought Jordan Love was going to be better than, what are we right now?
I mean, you would hope with as long as
Nothing.
you've been in that system.
Dude, that's what I thought. As long as you've been in the system, you should be able to run the system. And the
Right,
system
and
doesn't. He doesn't
it's-
look good, dude. He looks like a
no, yeah,
backup
no,
quarterback.
Stewart's going to get ran out of town.
Yes, I mean, I want to
So
bring
they're
that up
kinda-
since we're touching on that though. The floor, like, I
Sidebahhh.
don't expect the Packers to move off of him, but
I think he's
definitely been. He hasn't been as
He's
good
been
as-
exposed.
Yes.
Without Aaron Rodgers, he's been exposed.
Yes.
I don't think he's been
He's not an
exposed.
awful coach.
I think
He's not
that.
awful,
I think that.
but-
I think that.
not as good as you would hope.
13-3, went 13-3 for the first 3 seasons he was there, because Aaron Rodgers had 2 MVPs.
But I
Period.
also think that
Period.
that's. I know. But I think that I think if you put a quarterback, I think Jordan Love's in the 20s. If you gave him a quarterback, even like a Dak, I think that team is still
It's better.
significantly better. I think that's
I appreciate
how bad
that take.
is.
I can rock with
So
that.
I'm not. I want to see a Matt LaFleur team, not necessarily with a top 5 quarterback, but give me a Dak, Derek Carr type quarterback, and then let's see what happens. Because I think Jordan Love is not that. Jordan Love is even farther down than that. Jordan Love's in that, like, you're obviously taking a quarterback in next year's draft.
So even though that you spent that first round pick on that guy, you're still giving LaFleur a little bit of a leeway to see what he can do beyond him, because he doesn't appear to be that guy.
Yes, and I think McFleur McFleur is not getting fired because Jordan Love sucks.
Next up, a pod pick. Chuck and his pod pick. Commanders 20, Patriots 17.
Golf clap.
You guys,
Yes.
we're so close. We were so fucking
It was my fault.
close. even that call was within the last play of the game. It wasn't like,
Well, that's why I picked
I
that.
know,
I thought
divisional
they were going to
game, right? Cover it. I get
And
it.
the
We
Cowboys,
supported
again,
it.
the Cowboys,
we supported
and
it.
we'll get
Cowboys,
into that
yeah.
when we get to it.
Yes.
I am surprised that you bet the Cowboys, though. Like, just
I
the overall.
fucking hate
Exactly. Okay, you guys. Commanders, honestly, they're a little bit above what I thought they were going to be. Like, they're Ron Rivera. I know that they talk about Riverboat Ron, and he's past his prime, and he still gets motherfuckers fighting. So
I don't think so. I think that team is playing well under the expectations. I think that team is playing well underneath the expectations of what they should be at. I think Sam Howell is playing above his expectations, so I don't know how that correlates. I don't know how that correlates. I literally don't. I think that team, it's a hard team to evaluate. Sam Howell's played here. The team has played here. Offensive line is awful.
I don't think Sam Howell's been that different between the team. Like, he's had some over. Those receivers can't get going because of Sam Howell. Like, Brian Robinson's played pretty well.
I think Sam Howell has to run for his life so much.
That offensive line has not been good.
Right, that's what I think. And I think that's like, he is not the problem right now. I think they give him another run. You give him an offensive line / the defense was supposed to be this epic fucking defense, and it sucks.
Yes.
So I think that Sam's done here, and the whole rest of the team's here, and that's the coaching staff and everybody else. I really do.
I'm with you. That defense was supposed to be better. They had that year where they were good, and then they regressed last
that's
year.
the reason
You
why I
thought
was
they'd be
higher
better.
on the Commanders.
And then I think
for
I
sure.
I'm the only one that had the Patriots here. So I am totally right on the Patriots.
Fair enough.
I had them at the bottom.
I did,
thought
but
they'd be a
not
little
as
bit
bad
better.
as this.
I
Yes.
said they were going to fucking
Same.
suck.
Not
They
as
were
bad
gonna
as
suck
this.
bad.
That's true. That is true. I do. All right. Like, I will agree with that. I thought that the Pats were going to be. I thought a Belichick team was going to be passable.
Dude, he's done. Dude, he's fucking done.
He's gotten
Done.
passed up.
You heard-
he
but
has.
With
Some-
the Commanders, real quick though, that offensive line has made it really hard to judge
Dude, they are.
how that team could be
Dude, when
because
you're-
I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
He's been sacked 44 times. The next person's at 34.
Yeah, this
Paper
is,
team, bro. You read those names and you're like, yo, they could
No.
do it. Brian Robinson, Logan Thomas,
But no
I got
offensive
the
line.
weapons,
Scary
skill
Terry,
positions.
Curtis Samuels. I drafted Jahan Dotson.
But look at the offensive
Had to
line.
bring it
It
back.
is really bad. The offensive line is really bad, and the defense
Right,
is a
which-
bunch of names. that did
I'm not
nothing.
disagreeing
No,
with
I know.
you, but what I'm saying though is
Yeah.
like paper team, like there's it's that shit. Yeah. I'm not that far off.
He didn't
So
say
fuck
close.
y'all.
He's
Like,
close.
it's
He's close.
literally
He
one
didn't
goal.
say a word.
Right?
I think we're all
We're
right.
showing it off. Like,
I think we're all right on each one. We're just so disappointed.
Colts versus the Panthers. Colts
that,
versus Panthers.
Panthers are less than I thought they played better.
Yeah, thought the Colts or the Panthers
27
would
to
be
13
better.
Colts.
Colts.
And the Colts are better than I thought they'd be.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
I thought
Same.
the Panthers would be the Colts, and I thought the Colts would be the Panthers.
Really not teams we need
Right?
to waste
Is that
our time
makes
with.
sense?
It does.
That's-
AR,
okay.
get healthy, come back to the Colts. We'll see what you can do. Panthers, you have a lot of draft picks, and you have Bryce Young.
Man, I
But
mean,
you don't look good, Chuck. And
Not
I
a
was
lot of draft
totally
picks.
wrong
I'm
on
so
that.
sorry you don't. You traded that.
I was totally wrong on that.
You were
Chuck,
you
he
were
does
higher
not-
on that
he does
veteran
not-
fucking roster, dude. I was lower on them. That's one of the. I'll take a win on that one. I
He
was
does
lower
not- but
on
he doesn't
Carolina.
look-
and, yeah.
But he doesn't look good in general.
but since we're talking about that, Frank Wright out after
No.
one season.
No.
No,
he's
I don't. I think he could.
He's
be,
been
man.
staying in that for a while. No, yeah,
I
he
think
should
he
be. He's
should
gonna
be.
he's gonna get 3 wins. He's gonna get 3 wins at most.
He's got two.
right
He's
now.
got 2 seasons.
I think they should be out on him, even
2
though
full.
even
He-
That was
well, he's a
loud. 2
McDaniels.
full?
He's a McDaniels. Does he have half a season next year?
No, I don't know.
I think it would be the better move to move
All right.
on.
So
at this point.
another half game. Giants Raiders.
Giants
Ah.
Giants.
are exactly what I thought they're going to be.
True.
We don't need to talk about this fucking team.
That's true.
Thumbs
We're
up.
gonna yeah no bad.
Coach
Bad,
is good.
right.
The fucking quarterback's bad. You shouldn't have signed him for the money. I fucking told you that. My number is
Okay, all right,
775-240-6192. Call me. I will tell you what to do.
Did
That was a
you
shitty
for real
fucking pick.
He just gave him the call me. I thought the Giants would be better. Daniel Jones being injured, I don't think
It didn't matter if he's healthy. They
even
fucking
if
suck.
he was healthy, I don't think it plays a big difference in how
That's
they've
it. That's
played
it.
this year.
Look, we're underwhelmed.
Yes,
You're
Giants are
properly whelmed. Like that's a We'll get to the Raiders.
New
in the
quarterback
game.
coming up in this draft.
What we thought should have been the marquee game, the Sunday nighter, and it was once again we touched on the pod getting missed was the Cowboys at the Eagles,
Well, I didn't think it was a
23-28.
Oh my
It was. It was. It was the interdivision.
I was trying to put up two teams. Didn't agree with the one. Didn't necessarily agree with the second one. But Cowboys are not what I thought they were, but they are exactly what they're going to be. I was hoping they'd take a step, but they are. They make the bad mistakes when they shouldn't make the bad mistakes. They take the fucking sacks.
That's
when they
the
shouldn't make the
McCarthy
sacks.
factor then at this point.
100%.
Right? Like fucking A,
The
dude.
Eagles are exactly what I thought they were going to be. They aren't as good as they could be.
But they're 8-1.
Correct.
Sorry.
I did.
Not
Well,
sorry.
I did pick them to be second in the West or second in the East, but I also said they wouldn't be as dominant because of.
Well, they're the first in the East by.
I know. I know they're the first, but they're also not as dominant as they could be. They have let a lot of teams hang in.
You are what your record says you are.
Well, kind of, because the Steelers at one point were like
11-3.
7-1 a couple years ago, and then lost the last.
No,
8
they
games.
were 11-1, dude.
Right.
They were,
So
they
you're
were
not
way
necessarily what
deep.
your
Yeah,
record
then they got
says you're going to
fucking
be. That's a
bounced.
bullshit statement.
Practice.
So
The Eagles are very good, and they keep winning the games in the tight coverage. That is great. They're just
not quite as explosive. That's all I got to say about the Eagles and Cowboys. I think the Cowboys aren't going to end up doing what me and Trev thought because it's a McCarthy, it's a Dak thing. They just can't get over the hill. They get to like the second level, like, I don't have any legs to get to the third level.
Yes.
That's the Cowboys.
Yes, I should have known this. I
should've.
should have. I thought the Cowboys had a chance to win the East. I liked the roster that they built. I think it's a great team. But that game against the Eagles, people are giving the Cowboys credit for how they lost. I'm like,
Right, because
no.
Dude, they should have won. They were up. They should have fucking hammered in. They should have fucking won.
No. Yes, exactly.
But they didn't.
The
they didn't.
Eagles,
That's the coach,
the
that's
way
the
that they're
quarterback.
playing, they gave the Cowboys chances to win the game. I bet on the Cowboys because I saw that, and I thought they could get there. And that 2-point conversion, Dak steps out of bounds. At the end of the game, when they have a chance to win it, they have a delay of game penalty on Dak
A fucking
completely.
sack.
Sack after sack. I mean, oh my God, the Cowboys are so frustrating to watch. I almost feel bad for Cowboy fans just after having bet on them and being in that situation. I'm like, oh my God,
we're
the
not
shit that you have to
sympathizing-
deal
No,
with.
we're not sympathizing with the Cowboys fans. No, wrong. That is no. If the Cowboys, the entire Cowboys are on my shit list, I don't give a shit. Like,
I mean, they should have been on mine. I like
look
that
at you,
roster. I thought-
non-biased. You can't say nothing nice about the Seahawks, but look at you talking mildly okay about the Cowboys.
And not anymore. Not after that game because that
It
was,
was
a
a
game
good
that
game. It was
the
a very
Philly
good game.
gave them all the chances to win, and the Cowboys are like, "Nah, we'll find a way to fuck it up." And that's why they're going to do the same damn thing when it comes to the playoffs. They're just going to find a way to blow it, no matter if they're better or not.
easy pal.
We're going to take it.
All right, what's
we're
the
gonna
next
take it
game,
anyway.
Sean?
Bills versus the Bengals. Okay. And the Bengals might be playing some of the best football, top tier.
Exactly what I thought they were going to be. The Bills
They've recovered heavily.
are very underwhelming on what I thought they were going to be, and it lands all on Sean McDermott. Every piece of it.
You were high on the Bills, big time.
I've tried to push it. It's all on Sean McDermott.
I think that the Bengals are, Joe Burrow is healthy, right?
Okay, so going into the season, I was hesitant on the Bengals because of his health.
Sure. Why couldn't you? Had to have been.
Yes, and now that I've seen the Burrow the last couple weeks, that I thought he
And
the
that
player
defense
that he
is
could
playing
be,
lights out. No,
that-
that team
yes.
is scary, man.
like
That team is.
I think it's
taking
them
form.
in the Ravens for the AFC.
Now you have to be careful because you're rounding into shape at about.
I think
the
both of those teams are better than the
60%.
Chiefs. I'm going to say it. Ravens and Bengals are better
playing-
than the Chiefs. When
They're
it comes
playing
to the
better
playoffs,
right now.
I'm taking either one of those teams over the Chiefs.
Whoa.
What's your
Okay.
feelings?
Yes.
Wait, what's the other team?
No, hold on.
Bengals.
I want to touch on this real quick. This little
Touch on it.
sidebar because
Sidebahhh.
I think that both of those two teams that we just touched on, the Ravens and the Bengals, are playing better overall than the Chiefs.
Correct.
But give me Mahomes in the playoffs.
Correct.
God damn it, dude. I hate it.
I mean,
He's a stud.
you
He's
expect
a stud.
him to
He's
waste
better than Lamar.
mistakes.
He's
Less mistakes.
better than Burrow.
Yes.
I mean, that's where the debate happens.
Because yes.
This season, though, with that offense,
We're sidebar
both
to
of those
sidebar, by the
offenses
way.
are better than the Chiefs' offense.
I
The
won't
Chiefs'
disagree with
defense
that.
has
I
been-
have the Ravens in the Super Bowl, but it's just hard for me to count out Mahomes in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's get back to the game.
Okay.
Before we get, 'cause
Sorry.
we could
No,
dive-
we're deep diving. We're
Yes.
sidebarring all over
Yes.
the place. Next up, thank you, Downey, for keeping.
Is this
us on
Monday
track.
night?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because that was the Sunday night
Yes.
that we just talked about. Chargers versus the Jets. This was a very lackluster game. We're barely going to touch on
Okay.
both of these teams. Let's be honest.
So I think that the Jets' defense is exactly where we thought they were going to be, but without Aaron, I don't know. They're lower than we thought.
But they
The
can't
Char-
score. They
Well,
can't score, so they're bad.
Correct.
Period.
Without
Let's
Aaron,
just end that at the Jets. Yeah, I don't want to
We all
review the
agree.
Jets.
and
They're
then the
bad.
Chargers.
are
Charger in.
lower than I thought they would be because they're Chargers.
Always.
No. I predicted this with the Chargers doing their Charger thing with Staley. They're going to be a
Fire
good
Staley.
team and
Fire Staley.
he should be
Fire
fired.
Staley.
I'm with you all the way there. And with the Jets,
Underwhelming. I'm not even
well,
going to
they're lower
more
than what I
detail.
thought because I thought they would have Rodgers. But since missing Rodgers, I think they've actually
So you
been-
can't give them
I
a
know.
real assessment, right?
Correct.
Like that's the problem.
Yeah,
you
they've
didn't
actually been better than what I thought without
You didn't
Rodgers.
think it was going to be a Zach Wilson-led team.
No.
Like 4 plays, not even 4 games, but 4 plays.
Yeah,
like
it's
not. It's so unfortunate for the Jets in that. So underwhelming because of the hype. That's why you have 19 fucking primetime games. Like we got to watch you play this boo-boo Zach Taylor fucking Robert Saleh bullshit. He's coaching his ass off. He's trying everything he can. So those are the reviews of those teams. We're going to touch on our teams in fandom, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to go take a urination break. So we're going to give...
Yes.
That guy's out of here. It's done. Segment done. That's it, boys and
That's
girls.
a drunk pod. Drunk pod. That's tough, dog. We didn't cut that at all.
You need to
That
cut it, son.
mother-